Hello, and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2's Fan Club Radio. We are reading through episode 85. White Album 2 Fan Club Radio. Tadokanai Koi plays in the background. Alright, let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Madoka Yonezawa, the voice of Setsuna Ogiso. Hello everyone, I'm Hitomi Nawatame, the voice of Kazusa Toma. And here with us today we have Takahiro Mizushima-san, the voice of Haruki Kitahara, who will be our guest every week this month. I'm Takahiro Mizushima. Nice to be here. Nice to have you. Actually, calling you a guest? Come to think of it, now that it's the last month, yeah, suddenly we've got another host. I'm basically a host. Aw, could you imagine? And he's mentioned before that he wanted to be a host on the station if he could have gone back and had the choice. So now, being there for the end, it's kind of fitting. It's kind of nice. Sure, why not? The lineup has grown. Yeah, I guess so. Sounds good. Ah, here I am. Right, here you are. We've had all these people come to visit, right? Yeah, that's what it's like. Though we're Daichu-san only here. So it's not like that at all, but when it comes to White Album 2, it's the three of us. Right, yeah. Yes, it's not like that at all, as in real life. They're not really that much of a trio. The two girls are, but they seem to have a closer relationship than any of the other characters do. Hey, Daichu-san? Do you go to flower viewings every year? Not necessarily. Uh-huh. I mean, flower viewings tend to turn into kind of a party, right? Yeah. Rather than that, I might, go for a walk in the afternoon. Yeah. And look at the flowers. That way feels nice. Ah, gotcha. Hey, now that you mention it, why don't we go for a walk? A walk? We have a walk planned. Right, we do. Oh, I'll gladly do that then. Watch them all just walk out of the radio studio. That was our original plan. It's just that the cherry blossoms bloomed earlier than we expected, so our schedules didn't line up the way we wanted. It's funny, in Japan, if you listen to the radio or if you watch TV, they actually have a cherry blossom schedule. And they'll tell you when everything is supposed to bloom. If we have some more warm days than they expect, then it could be pushed up. But usually, if you just look it up online or watch the news, you can tell pretty easily when the blossoms will be blooming, depending on where you live in Japan. Wait, you two weren't able to line your schedules up? The end must be near. No, we always do seasonal stuff. We enjoy the seasons nowadays. We make the most of it. We go to the pool in the summer, go skating in the winter. Right, now I remember. Yes, we went skating. We did. Listen, and someone didn't show up. Right? Why would anyone go on a day when it was snowing that heavy? No, you should have. Your schedule was open, right? Aw, he stood them up to go skating. It was. My schedule was open, but that didn't mean I was going to leave the house. We waited for you, you know. That's right. The seasons don't wait. That's right. It's spring now. Skating isn't such a big... Well, I'll try. Let's do it. We'll take that walk this time. Right. In Hakama. In Hakama. I want to hear comes Miss Modern look. I love that there's so much dressing up in Japan. Hakama, like dressing up in traditional outfits and walking around. And it's really not uncommon. If you get on the subway or the bus or you're walking throughout the city, it's really not uncommon to see girls wearing any kind of traditional Japanese clothing, no matter what season it is. Usually it's more common towards like during festival times, but even then you'll still find older ladies who still just wear exclusively kimonos. So it's really pretty. I like that idea. That's something I'd like to see, I think. So, come with us, Daichu-san. Do it! Though we won't make you wear hakama. Right, you can dress how you want. Something like, since the two of us are Miss Modern, right? What did the guy look like in Here Comes Miss Modern? Oh, something like a door-to-door tradesman? A door-to-door tradesman? That's way anachronistic. You don't get door-to-door sale tradesmen in Miss Modern's era. You want me to dress like a thief taker? Well, anyway, let's see what timing works for all of us and make it happen. I've never seen Here Comes Miss Modern, so I feel out of their loop. But it's really funny that Haruki wants to see them all dressed up. And they're just suggesting really weird outfits for him to wear. Yeah. Now, we get to make Daichu-san talk about all sorts of things again this week. This'll be fun. Let's get going. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio. Begin! This program is sponsored by Aqua Plus. White Album 2, Fanclub Radio. Now, it's time for our special project to get Daichu-san talking. Let's hear everything. Super Daichu time! Volume 2. This is Volume 2 of our special 4-week-long project. This week, we'll be reading mail from our members about the closing chapter of White Album 2. Alright, here's our first message. Okay, this is from Dorodoroshi-san. Setsuna is a girl who shines when she gets dumped. Actually, I think so too. So, when I thought about which way of being dumped I like best, I came up with Mari's route in CC. Alright. In the final stage of Mari's route, as Setsuna is telling Haruki he can use her as a way to escape, he confesses to her that he hasn't given up on Mari. However, Haruki speaks to Setsuna in this scene. She will be hurt. Brutally so. Even while Haruki and Setsuna are in each other's arms, their hearts aren't embracing. While Setsuna is in his arms, she says, "I was never able to be the light that illuminated you. I was only a barrier keeping the light from reaching you. So I'm going to leave. Goodbye, Haruki-kun. Though I should have done it long ago, I'm letting you go." Setsuna tries to sever her bond with Haruki by her own hand. As fragile as her strength is, Setsuna, in her fleeting fragility, looked the most beautiful to me in this scene. Oh man, that was such a hard scene. Because it needed to be said, right? Setsuna spent weeks and weeks running away from Haruki because she kind of knew what Haruki had to say at that point in the storyline from in Mari's route. But she didn't want to hear it. So then finally at the lodge, when Haruki opens up, her last-ditch effort was like, "Oh, well, you can just use me instead." And as soon as Haruki said no, she knew that it was over and just accepted it. And it was so sad. So sad. Wow. I feel like they've already said it all. Yeah. I still haven't made it there. Huh. Ah. I still only made it to Chiaki. I'm in the middle of Chiaki. Chiaki? Yeah. It's astounding to me. How can they run a radio show about White Album 2 without having played all the roots of White Album 2? It's just, what? Come on. All right. Well, from Setsuna's standpoint, she probably doesn't want to shine when she's being dumped. She would hate that part of herself. Yeah. More than shining, I think it feels like this is the only way. Right, so for Mari-san's route, she said this and broke up with him. Yeah, she did. She says, "I'm letting you go." So I guess she's not the one being dumped? Yeah. Though her putting it that way, letting him go, might be out of kindness. Oh, it's absolutely out of kindness because she doesn't want to let him go. She could continue that, like, the weird tango that they've had for the last 3 years where they would not talk and they talk a little and then not talk again. Setsuna would probably continue that for the rest of her life, maybe, if Haruki allowed it. But Haruki had already strayed so far from her at this point, she finally broke it off. So it took a while. That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, we can be pretty sure Haruki wouldn't have been able to say it. Right? Like, whatever feelings there may be. Yeah? At the end of the day, Haruki is constantly just barely keeping this distance from Setsuna. Yeah. Right? So the fact that he can't cut it off himself, basically, when it gets to Mari-san's route, it's like not cowardice exactly. But Haruki's, well, when we talk about an escape for him, the biggest one out of everybody is Mari-san. Yeah. The way he sort of throws everything away and runs to Mari-san. Yeah. You get that the most with her. It's kind of abnormal. Maybe. But once you get to CC, anyone equals breaking up with Setsuna. Yeah. And completely forgetting about Kazusa. Right. And this is interesting. And this is honestly what I like about Mari-san's route. Is it's the most detached from everything else. It's the most detached from Setsuna, from Kazusa, from all the little drama in their little friend group. It's really just, I don't know, it felt good. Because with all of this baggage, everything that was going on, for Haruki to get, and it wasn't exactly a clean break, of course, there's a lot of discourse and stuff that happens, but for him to get like the best separation, I really, really liked Mari-san's route for that. It was believable and it was realistic. But I don't know, that's just me. That's just someone who hates drama. And there was still so much drama, but I don't know, it felt like better drama. And reaching that point must have been extremely hard for Haruki. As an actor, I was thinking, can he seriously just abandon someone he felt that strongly for? Yeah. Of course, as I played in accordance with the script, I understood completely. Right? There's nothing really forced. Right? I was able to go, yeah, all right. But this thing about separating from Setsuna, really separating? Yeah? Well, wondering about happy endings, right? When I thought about this future where everyone can get a happy ending, yeah? In that sense, I guess Mari-san, I guess with Koharu and Chiaki too, but having Mari-san thinking realistically might really be the best way. I was thinking that a lot. Wow. Right, since if he goes to one of them, to Setsuna or Kazusa, one of them is sure to cling to him, right? Right. As a memory. Yeah. If he cuts them off completely and shows the two of them have a future, other paths, yeah? Once they see that, they can find other people. Right. So this could be the cleanest way. Yeah. That lets him forget about them. Good point. Yeah. If he did go with Kazusa or Setsuna, he would probably end up going the rest of his life unable to forget the other one. Right? Whether it was Kazusa or Setsuna. Yeah. The three of them wouldn't reach a conclusion. Yeah. Would actually end up somewhere the complete opposite. Yeah. And that would be not from last week, not last time, but it would cut off the road to any kind of new life for them. Yeah. And that's also the thing. When you stick with the one person who has so much drama regarding a third party, they're constantly going to wonder, oh, would he rather be with the other person? Does he truly love me? Is he settling for me? There's so much there that personally, and I love Kazusa and Setsuna, and I do think their endings are some of the best, But as a human being, not as a player, I think it's extremely unhealthy to stay with either of them. But that's just me. I don't know. But in Mari-san's case, the fact that he's working for Kaio, what was it? The two of them go abroad. They go to New York together, right? With them continuing on together, even as new business partners. Yeah. He won't be able to forget completely. Being in Japan would just be painful, probably. Right? I mean, being anywhere Kazusa is would hurt. Yeah. So being in America is good, I think. Yeah. Good point. I mean, I haven't made it that far. I'm so excited. Man, it's been like a year and a half since this radio show even started, and she's still not through the roots. I can't even imagine. So I've got a lot of thoughts about it. I'm in the middle of CC right now, right? I finally made it onto Chiaki's route. Yes! And they've been acting flirty for a little while. Yeah? And I've been feeling a bit irritated as I'm playing. A bit irritated? Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, I get super embarrassed when people flirt. I start going, oh my God, stop. Do you get like that? Well, maybe just you, Hitomi. No, not Hitomi. What? Not Hitomi. Hitomi, you're the one who feels that way. Maybe, is it because it's this game in particular? I don't know. You probably feel the same way with another game. Well, but would another game be so... I mean, you see surprisingly little of it depicted in the game. Yeah. Right, but the emotions and things are... Yeah, right. Shown in such fine detail. Yeah, right? That reading it makes my heart start pounding. Maybe because it's closer to reality. I get all fluttery. Oh, but that's right. Within this enormous text, you have all of that contained. Yeah. Which is why you get absorbed in that scene. My heart starts racing somehow. Yeah, I think that's really incredible. Like, it's transcending the two-dimensional space. I mean, that's how you know it's a well-written game. If you get sucked into it that much that you can really feel it, your heart's pounding, you laugh, you cry. Oh, you cry a lot. That's how you know it's well-written and you really care about the characters. Yeah, I think that's really incredible. Like, it's transcending the two-dimensional space. Yeah. I mean, really, this might be a weird analogy, but erotic novels are a thing, right? Right? Erotic novels are more obscene than anything else. Right. The writing style is meant to stir up your powers of imagination in a major way. Even if, say, it's describing someone's clothes being taken off. Yeah. No, I don't really read those. When I was in high school, I was going, whoa, Daichi-san reads that stuff? No, when I was in high school, there was a teacher, a representative, who wanted to give me a recommendation for summer break and said, read some erotic novels. What? Can you imagine getting a school assignment like that? That's just weird. Why? Because that was the best way of enriching your powers of imagination, they said. Easy to understand. Rather than, say, pornographic comics. Read erotic novels. That's an interesting bit of guidance to give. Yeah. The inspiration you get from the writing will vary from person to person, but, right? But if that person engages their imagination at its maximum, then their imagination will get deeper. Okay. Again, it varies by person. Naba-chan, what, I fantasize too much? Your fantasies are very strong. I see. So maybe that's why you get flustered or embarrassed. I get all fluttery, like, ah. Doesn't that just mean you have a rich imagination? Isn't that a good thing? It's definitely a good thing. Really? Yeah. And Chiaki's route is that way especially. Yeah, in a way. It takes you to this dazzling world. Yeah, it's kind of wild. Wearing the Santa outfit and everything. Yeah. The Santa outfit has just shown up. Uh-huh. I'm a little bit beyond that. Uh-huh. So, not very far at all, honestly. There's so much drama that happens after that point. Oh my goodness. And this is the first time around, right? And there's this talk about the garters, and once she puts them on, it's over. Yeah. And I haven't made it that far, right? But even though I already know that once the garters show up and she puts them on, it's over, my heart is still racing. Yeah. When? When is she going to put them on? Oh, but you two know more of the story beyond that. Ah, well. It would be better not to say, though, I think. If I knew, though, I would probably get excited, knowing when it was going to happen. Well, but even if I had prepared myself, I'm sure it would go beyond what I was imagining. But if you don't know, then when you get there, the effect will be stronger. You'll go, whoa. Yeah. Will I? I want you to feel that. Now I don't know. Well, we do have a strategy guide too. True enough. I used to read the strategy guide like crazy, but I wasn't playing then, so yeah. I didn't understand the game yet. The strategy guide is actually really, really good. They put out the strategy guide for the PlayStation 3 specifically, and the way it lines out all the routes is really, really well done. It also has a bunch of really cool character art at the end, so if you haven't checked out the guide yet, I do recommend doing so. Right, since it's not just bits and pieces, when you play it for real, what's happening here, right? And you go deeper. It's fun hearing about all this. Now the sun has turned into a maiden now. All right, here's the next message. Right, this is from you-san. All right, the scene I want you to talk about is in CC. Setsuna is my favorite character out of everyone in White Album 2, and part of my image of her is as a girl who shines when she gets dumped. Wait, this is the same as... Identical. Same as the last one. Wild. I think the moment when she shines the most is at the end of Koharu's route, the scene in the cafe. The contrast of the second CG looking at Setsuna through the window just might be the most beautiful CG in White Album 2. Ah. Oh, that scene made me cry. Made me cry so much. That was the most powerful, powerful scene. And it's big spoiler alert. If you're listening to this, I assume you've played all the routes. And if you haven't, you should probably do that. But when she's saying goodbye to Haruki in the cafe, and he passes by the window and she gives him a wave and a smile. But then later on, when Koharu passes Setsuna in the window, she's crying so hard. Ah, my God, I'm giving myself goosebumps. Oh, it's such a good ending. I mean, it's terrible. It's so sad. It takes the shape of Setsuna dumping Haruki herself in order to set him free. And while Haruki is there, she manages to keep a brave face. But the moment he's gone, the way she crumbles, Koharu witnessing it and getting all sorts of ideas again, everything about the scene came together and left a huge impression on my heart. Since it's not the main route, I don't know whether I'll be able to see this if CC gets made into an anime, but I like to dream that we might get to see the other CC character routes in OVA form. All right, okay. It was really well done. Yes. The way this scene makes you cry, you cry. Yeah, you definitely cry. So I think out of all the closing chapter parts, I feel like I cried the most during that scene. It was so sad. It's just, God, it was so sad. A really powerful image, too. It's just really well drawn. When I was recording, yeah, you basically know this already. Uh-huh. I mean, behind it, Haruki may not realize, but for me with the script, yeah, I had already checked. Yeah? So I was like, uh-huh. I mean, yes, he's going to be with Koharu for real. Yeah? But that doesn't mean Koharu knows this whole situation. Right? So I guess the way Setsuna holds out until the end, the art, the CG, her smile. When I think about it like this, it really hurts. It hurts a ton. Yeah. So in terms of recording specifically, when we were recording CC, yeah, Setsuna had already been dumped 3 times? Yes. In terms of recording, right? She'd been dumped 3 times, right? Yeah. 3 times. 6 in total. 6 times in total? 6 times. If we include absolutely everything, with Coda, all the way to the end, up through CC, right? She gets dumped 6 times. Yes. Yeah. So the ways she gets dumped, Yone-chan. Yes? I mean, there must be some difference between the ways, right? Yes. Oh, are there differences? Are there? Was there a particular one that was the hardest to record emotionally? Oh no, all of them. I hated all of them. Okay, before we get into the dumpings anymore, we're going to stop off there for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Fan Club Radio, and I'll be back to you with part 2 shortly. Until then, I hope you take care. See you.